What's happening? 70-second show. Sorry, my sandwich smells like garbage right now. Wow. Anyways, welcome back. Weekly Rant. Jimmy is sitting alongside over here. Dave, a.k.a. Goose. Feuerman.
What's going on, brother?
What's happening?
Glad to be here today.
You just cracked my thumb knuckle.
That's what I do.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just enjoying time in the basement with Big Jimmy.
Basement with the Big G. That's one way to put it.
Got me excited.
So we got some immediate breaking news, except for the fact that Matt Flynn is a newest New York Jet that no one cares about. We were going to cover on the show that we're going to be doing a special episode on his collection of sports memorabilia. In which case now that has gone from a special episode to an article, which will be released with the Ron Cockmer review, Brookhaven review, Messenger, and Medford News, should they work. So, anyways, that's pretty cool. So yeah, next week, next Tuesday night, we'll be covering a show on that, and if you want to give them a little bit of a preview of what we'll be covering, you can tell them. You can.
No, I'm definitely excited about this whole thing. I've been collecting for over 12 years. I love the history of especially baseball. Baseball is my main sport in my collection. Second is boxing. You know, I always felt boxing and baseball had the greatest history of any sport. And I love collecting these pieces. You know, baseball cards, autograph, things like that. Baseball cards are really becoming something that's dying out. You know, generations of this day
all cards.
Oh yeah, any sports cards. You know, kids in this internet generation are gonna say, "Would you want these little pieces of cardboard with pictures on them?" But when we were kids,
that's like actually when our parents were kids, they used to take those cards and put them in the spokes of their wheels. You know,
and that's the reason they're valuable today. Everybody says, "Oh, if my mom didn't throw in my collection," you know, if everybody's mom didn't throw out their collection, they wouldn't be worth a lot. It's because they're rare. There's not a lot out there. And reminds people of their childhood, and you know, I love collecting. I love the history, and
well, we give you a sneak peek, throw out some photos of the collection itself, but to go over some items within the era of your collection. I mean, you have things from the 1800s through the early 1900s. I mean, you have items like Satchel Paige from the Negro Leagues. You have items all the way up through with, say, Babe Ruth. I think Ty Cobb's over.
Yep.
Ted Williams. I mean, you name it. It's like I was telling my friend before at Old Street in Smithtown. You know, you look at a lot of people's collections, and they got stuff scattered everywhere, this and that. I mean, your collection's it's the best of the best. You don't have any small little crap items here. It is what it is. I mean, you know, one thing that shocked me was that you had the Satchel Paige. I mean, is that the only thing from the Negro Leagues that you have?
For the most part, you know, obviously I have a 1955 Jackie Robinson stamp. Obviously started out in the Negro Leagues, but that stuff is definitely tough to find. You know, because when you know, especially
no, it's not actually. We got something here.
Oh,
we got very rare actually. Only 10,000 of these are made. You don't need this. That was just to go home with. What I'm giving you here to add to your collection is actually a Satchel Paige card. It's a die-cut, pure silver stamp of his face and his name. It's a company that went out of business. They were in business for a short period of time, which raises the value on all these. It's a very, very small collection. There's about 12 of these that are out there.
This is great.
So you have the names that I gave you, which was your Ed Delaney. You have your Lou Gehrig. You have, I forget the names. But they're all out there, and now you have another. You have one, which is one of the more rare items of it, which is the Satchel Paige.
Thank you very much. I love it.
So you can add that to your collection.
Definitely will.
And that's something pretty cool to hold on to there. So that's
Satchel Paige. I mean, one of the besides Negro League, besides being one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Unfortunately, when we got to see him, when he came to the majors and he came over to Cleveland, he was already way past his prime. So we did not get to see him in his glory days, but from the story we hear from major leaguers who got to play barnstorming games with Negro League teams, they say he was phenomenal. Everybody says, even up to Joe DiMaggio says he was just a phenomenal pitcher.
And as everybody knows, it's tough to go back and actually look at the stats and the history. There is none. There is none. Everything you can only assume. You know, one of the biggest names that are out there when it comes to Negro Leagues is Josh Gibson, saying, "Well, is he the true home run king?" No one knows. They never actually collected these stats for legitimacy purposes, and so you don't know what's out there. But anyways, we'll be covering his collection. The video's already been made. We'll be editing and doing everything, taking care of all the work. It'll be released on next Tuesday. We're not going to be doing a show next Tuesday, so to replace that will be the actual collection episode, and then you can check out. This Friday, you can check out in all the papers. So 3 days from now, grab those papers I'd mentioned, the Messenger, the Ronkonkoma Review, the Brookhaven Review, and Medford News. You'll see a picture of this ugly bastard right here with all of his collections. It'll be 4 or 5 pictures of what's in there. And, that's that. So I just want to jump into the rundown here, which we're taking forever to get to because it's already 10 after. 72nd episode. Here we are, and to start off with, we'll be going into the Jets and Giants, talking a little bit. We have a lot of topics to get through, so it's going to be kind of a straight through the whole show. Jets and Giants preseason, we'll be talking about that. Again, this is where you chime in.
Well, the Jets every year.
No. See, I went over this. This is funny. I went over this. I says we go topic to topic to topic, and then we get into the show.
Oh, all right. Well, you act like I'm an expert down here. So you want me to discuss
now we
the
go
next
to the next one.
So the next topic is the exhilarating sport of golf, the PGA Championship, which I know about as much about that as Donald Trump knows about being politically correct. So Jim will be taking over most of that one.
And there it is. Jumping into that, we'll blend both those topics in. The FedEx Cup, rather. We'll be going into that for the 4 playoffs that will be coming up after this weekend's Wyndham. So we'll talk about that.
And then after that, we're going to have our debate.
Which is?
We're going to be talking about Harrison taking the trophies away from the kids, and we're going to be discussing that a little bit, our feelings on what we feel about that.
Yep. Mets and the division. It was an option for a debate on a topic of if the Mets will win the division. It'll be just a great conversation. So we'll talk about the Mets, the division, and the fact that the Nationals are 4.5 games back behind them.
And we'll talk about the Yankees being back on track. Still holding up well, considering at the beginning of the season nobody thought we'd see that much from them.
After the moves that Toronto made, they're only a game up on them.
Only a game up, but they're still in first place. And people are saying that they're not in the best division, but you know what? A lot better than the Mets division.
That is very true. Washington's game under 500. Northwestern, not going to spend too much time on it, but it's definitely worth conversation. Northwestern, as you know, last year with the unionizing whole topic that got brought to court and ruled upon. So we'll talk about that as well.
Then we're going to get into the Tom Brady suspension. Our thoughts on how we feel about that.
Sorry, I got something under here.
Is it alive?
Might be. No, speaker.
Is she cute?
No. The NHL. I know no one cares about hockey, but you know what? There is a major change coming into the marketing standpoint, which is going to open up a lot of doors for what people do not want to see in the NHL, and that happens to be that Reebok will be out of the NHL as far as the jerseys go.
And finally ended off with Jimmy's rant, because what show would not be complete without Jimmy's rant?
And as always, I don't have a rant. So we'll figure that out through the show.
We'll figure something.
We do have someone calling in shortly who you're all familiar with. I'm just going to give him a heads up now. To call in. We'll give him about... tell him call in a few minutes. But I do want to talk about, real quick, the Jets. Our hometown team. Well, not our. I don't care about the Jets. I hate the Jets. Or the Giants, although I hate Eli. And we'll talk about him and his contract. But... as you know, last week, so we talked about Geno Smith and getting punched in the face by Ikemi Poly, I don't know, some Samoan from Hawaii. This guy knocked him out cold, unconscious, not true. Over $600. And the guy gets picked up, he goes to Buffalo. And that's great. He's under Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan loved this guy, Ikemi Poly. I don't care to look up the proper saying of this guy's name. He doesn't get any respect out of me for it. So... anyways, but back to the Jets. They did, as breaking news happened just before the show, the Jets did just sign Matt Flynn, which is pretty good for them. He's their only quarterback. You have tons of questions were raised about Fitzpatrick, about how he's going to come off of his broken leg, and his history, whether it be with the Bills or whether it be with the Texans or Titans or all this garbage. And guess what? Now you have a quarterback coming in who, yeah, he only started 7 games, but he has played in 51. And look, he studied under the best of the best, Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of impact do you think this is going to make? The fact that they're bringing in Matt Flynn. He's not a great quarterback, but he's seen a lot out there.
No, it's definitely true, and obviously,
I'm going to cut you short in a minute, though, because we are getting a call in a few seconds. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you think about Fitzpatrick? When he was
The Amish Cannon, he's nothing to be relied upon. I mean, you're talking about standards for the Jets quarterbacks. I mean, this guy, I think he's pretty sure he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, just like Geno Smith, 25 and 34. Fitzpatrick is not an elite quarterback. No, the Jets have not.
I agree.
They haven't had an elite quarterback since Joe Namath. They got nothing, and people will say, oh, well, we had the days of Testaverde. Yeah, shut up. Just shut up. Who cares about Testaverde? What did you get with him? You got nowhere. It doesn't matter. You haven't had an elite quarterback. You're never going to get an elite quarterback. No one wants to play for the Jets. The Jets are a mockery. They are the Mets of the NFL. It's a team that just cannot get a proper structure down pat to draw players to stay here. It's just not going to happen.
That's why you just pat Jet fans on the back and say it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Good luck. But, and the whole mockery within the locker room, that is what I found so comical. Over $600, you're going to have a fight.
Like I had said to you recently, I'm like, considering the money we make, that's like $5 to us. Now, Don't get me wrong, there's some people I'd love to just punch in the face for free.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really, we're not going to do that over a few bucks, which is what 600 is like to guys making this much money.
I mean, he did just, he elected to have the plates. Geno Smith elected to have the plates put in his face because that would be a faster recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he took that very serious and went out yesterday and was throwing a football around, having a catch. And it's claimed right now that he's going to miss the first 4 games of the regular season. So you're looking at 8 weeks right away. 7 weeks minus the first week of preseason. So he's got 7 weeks he's going to be missing. And it was predicted 6 to 10 weeks. I thought they were going to kind of reprimand him a little bit more for going out there.
Yeah.
What are you losing? You might as well suspend the guy for the whole season. Well, he's not a great quarterback.
That's the biggest problem. That's that's the biggest problem. What are you really losing?
Not losing anything.
I'm curious of how, we hear the term sucker punch. Do we know actually how this punch came at him? I mean, was the other guy just kind of strolling up and just caught him? From what I understand, they were in the middle of somewhat of a heated argument in the locker room.
I'm more concerned about why that still rings when I have it on vibrate. But I do want to welcome in our fan favorite here, Matt Lamott from the Buffalo Finians. Mr. Lamott, what's happening, brother? Let's put you on that speaker. Can you hear me? Hang on. What's going on here? Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me now? Nope. Bad connection. We're going to get back with him and find out what happened there. But anyways, he's going to be calling in. I want to get his take on the Bills' upcoming season on the topic of the Jets, being that the Bills were welcoming in as their new head coach, Rex Ryan. And here he is now. Let's see if we can get him. Matt, can you hear us?
Hey, what's going on?
There you go. I told you earlier, don't call from the fire truck. We weren't going to be able to hear you.
Well, I'm just sitting there like, I don't think I'm on yet.
Anyways, we got Matthew Lamont from the Buffalo Finians. And although there's, we'll get to the Finians in 1 second, as we always do. I spoke to you earlier, and as we're on the topic of the Jets, being up in Buffalo yourself and now welcoming in the head coach of Rex Ryan, just to start with him before we get to IK, are you looking forward to a season with Rex Ryan, knowing the background that he has, with the character that he brings to the Buffalo Bills? Are you ready for that?
Absolutely, 100% psyched about it. I couldn't be, it's one, just a super interesting story. The Bills are going to be relevant all year in the NFL, and I think a lot of his, habits and styles kind of are out of his system now at the time he did with the Jets. I think he's kind of matured and grown up a little bit as a head coach, and I'm just excited to see what happens.
Now, before we jump to IK, real quick, Tomorrow's a big day in the NFL. Tomorrow, Tom Brady goes to court. Well, he actually doesn't have to appear in court, nor does Roger Goodell. But what's going on, as you know, being that it's the Patriots and they're in your division, and you're supposed to be you being the Buffalo Bills. You're hosting the Patriots in Week 2. You're guaranteed. I say guaranteed because they were talking about reducing a 4-game suspension to a 2-game suspension. You're guaranteed basically to be facing the Patriots without Tom Brady, and you're looking at Garoppolo as quarterback. The impact. What kind of impact do you think that will make in that series itself for that game?
Well, I mean, obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo is not Tom Brady. I think, the Bills handled him pretty well last year when they played against him. I mean, that game didn't mean anything, but they took it
Right,
to
the
him.
final game of the season.
Yeah, the physical talent's not there. I think it'll be a big mental boost for Buffalo too, and you can never discount that. And I think I don't see Tom Brady's decision, going back to anywhere less than 2 games. So they'll go against Garoppolo, and I think they'll be able to handle him just fine.
And then, as on the topic of quarterback itself, who do you think is going to come out on top and become the next Bills starting quarterback? Do you think it'll be decided in the next week or 2, or is this going to be a Rex Ryan decision 3 days before Game 1?
It's going to be my man Tyrod Taylor. I said it from day one when they signed him.
Wow.
Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback for the Bills.
I gotta say.
And
that's a bold statement.
And I know it is, but he sat for 4 years under Joe Flacco. I've watched him since he was at Virginia Tech. I know what he's capable of. And you're hearing now all summer long, up in Buffalo, you've been hearing what a physical specimen he is, a great athlete. Fred Jackson's giving him compliments to a lot of people. And now you're finding out in the last couple of weeks that he's a huge leadership. He got this head on his shoulders that he's ready to take that next step. So
first of all, I think Fred Taylor.
He's going to be a starting quarterback.
I think Fred Taylor himself needs a boost of confidence. But we won't really go there. But you bring up a great point that Taylor did play those 4 years under Flacco. And that kind of brings us to the Jets. I know you can care less about the Jets, but because they're in your division, as we were just speaking about this, Matt Flynn just got picked up by the New York Jets. So he's got a quarterback. Yeah, he has a quarterback battle right now. And the situation there between obviously Fitzpatrick, now not so much Geno, but because Flynn is there and he played those years under Aaron Rodgers. That's a pretty similar situation to what you're saying about Taylor and Joe Flacco right now. So you're looking right now. Your first matchup is going to be in Week 10. Now I can't make any promises that you're going to see Matt Flynn in Week 10. Although I can pretty much guarantee and tell you, bet my left nut, you're going to see Matt Flynn in Week 10. If you do see Matt Flynn in Week 10, do you think it's going to be Taylor facing Matt Flynn?
I hope so. In my mind, I hope so because I don't want to see. I would like, a guy like Taylor to win the job and keep it and be productive. And Buffalo knows finally they have some kind of a quarterback and they're not jumping around or anything. And as far as Flynn goes, Fitzpatrick's obviously not a long-term answer in the NFL. He's a serviceable in-between guy. Buffalo knows from experience. The thing about Flynn that doesn't drive me crazy, he was here in Buffalo at one point. You make the point about him being behind Aaron Rodgers, but then at the same time, he's also bounced around so much in just a handful of years.
Yeah, he signed that $20 million contract with Seattle.
Yeah, right. And he came to Buffalo, and then he got cut. Then he went back to Seattle, and then back to Green Bay, and just all over the place. And that scares me enough right there. That guy can't hold one job.
Well, let's see. Don't play any favorites here. Don't be a homer. Who do you think is going to win the division?
I gotta say New England.
Really?
Brady comes back. I see enough bad years. if he comes back and they can still easily take this division, I think it'll be much more competitive. And I hope it doesn't go that way, but right now I gotta still pick them.
Well, I have, believe it or not, I actually do have the Bills winning this division, but that's literally
Wow.
as of preseason week 1. My picks are going to totally change right before week 1 of the NFL when I release the picks. But as it stands right now, I really do feel confident in the Bills winning this division.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super confident. I mean, they're going to make great strides, and
Yep.
and they really have to put it together this year because there's just going to be no money to spend on free agents next year. They really got to do it this year.
Yep. Now, last I heard from you, I didn't get a chance to see you at the Finian's golf outing, nor did I get to see you that night in downtown. But what's going on at the Finian's now? Any new news going on?
Not really. Took part in the the new Midwest Championship weekend we had last weekend down in Pittsburgh, and that's about it. The year's pretty much over. One more regular season game coming up this Saturday in Pittsburgh, and it wasn't a really great year. It's rebuilding time in Buffalo, so not the first time we've had to do that in sports.
That happens. That's all right. And what are we in now? We're in August, so I guess I'm sure I'll see you before then. But I guess we're looking at what, May, and you'll be facing off against NYPD again back at Gaelic Park.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be better with them. We have a good relationship with NYPD, and I'd safely bet that we'll see you back in New York in this next spring. Hopefully it all works out well.
And I must apologize to you because right now I am sporting the NYPD Gaelic football jersey.
That's all right. They've had a good year, so.
It's funny. I cover your team. I cover your team now for almost 2 years now, and I don't have a single uniform of the Buffalo Finians. I got a problem with that, Matt.
We'll change that then. You may see something in there in a couple of days then. we gotta get you some FDNY stuff too.
That's right. There you go, my man. Matt, I appreciate you calling in. Matt, thank you for calling in, buddy. I wish you the best. I'm going to talk to you I'll text you after the show, actually. I'm going to be up in Buffalo the next couple of weeks, so if we can get together, we'll work something out. But again, thank you very much for calling in, man. I appreciate it, and every time you call in, you're always here for us. So thank you very much, buddy.
All right, no problem, buddy.
All right, take it easy, bub. So that's Matthew Lott with the Buffalo Finians, which is an up-and-coming Gaelic football, big sport over in Ireland. They're like a sister team of the professional league in Ireland, so they're getting bigger and bigger, which is great.
That's awesome.
But you got his take. He's a realist. He's not your average homer football fan. Not that I had to remind him to not be such, but it's good to talk to him.
He wasn't letting being a fan of something,
Getting away there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the Jets, that's the Bills. Moving on to the Giants, though, real quick, as we're already 25 minutes in here. The Giants, the only news going on with the Giants, aside from JPP finally getting contact with the Giants that no one cares about, Eli wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL. You're talking about Phillip Rivers, who came into the league the same year as Eli. Eli happened to have been drafted by the Chargers, declined, and next thing you know, guess what? Now Phillip Rivers is part of the Chargers, and here comes Eli Manning for the Giants. So they came in, and you're going to look at I'm struggling to speak tonight. Contract similarities. Now you see that Phillip Rivers is getting a guaranteed amount of $64 million, I believe it was that I saw, a contract of $83 million, 64 guaranteed. Eli wants to become the highest paid quarterback. That would surpass the deal that Aaron Rodgers made in 2013. That would surpass the deal Russell Wilson just made now. To say Eli should get more than Rivers? Absolutely. And I hate Eli. I don't like him at all. I think he's terrible. But the fact that he should get more money than Phillip Rivers? Absolutely. Eli won 2 Super Bowls. He's a 2-time MVP in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What has Phillip Rivers done? Nothing. He is, aside from Dan Fouts, he's the Chargers' best quarterback of all time. That's cool, but it's gotten you nowhere. So
One of the things you got to think about too is wanting to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Is he the best quarterback in the NFL?
Nope. I'll give you 10 quarterbacks that are better than him.
Exactly, and that's
Minimum.
the point. And I'm a Giant fan too, but you gotta think about that. If you're not the best, you shouldn't be paid like the best.
Exactly.
Short of it.
Now, the only thing I'll say for him is there's only there's only 2 times I want to have Eli on my team. It's during the playoffs. He's a whole different player. Different player.
Definitely.
So I want Eli as my quarterback in the playoffs. Seriously, I'll take Eli over Tom Brady. I'll take Eli over Aaron Rodgers. Call me crazy, but guess what? That's a little bit of homer inside of me that I've seen Eli take the Giants down the stretch to the Super Bowl, beating Green Bay in Green Bay, beating Dallas in Dallas. You look at
He's proved it.
He's proved himself completely. Actually, not Dallas in the playoffs. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. But the first Super Bowl, they won all 3 games on the road. 2-minute drill is the other situation. I'll take Eli. Simply because people will say, oh, I want Tom Brady in the 2-minute drill because he's the best quarterback. You're right, he's the best quarterback. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. But just because he's the best quarterback, have you ever seen Tom Brady in the 2-minute drill? No. He's never in a situation to get in the 2-minute drill. You don't know how he's going to fare. Guess what? The last time he was actually in a 2-minute drill that meant something. I don't even think it was last year versus the Seahawks. Let's see. Oh, that's right. It was against the Giants, and it didn't work out for him twice. So I wouldn't take Tom Brady in that situation.
And we got to say, going back to Eli, that definitely has improved. You think back a couple of years ago when he was throwing all those interceptions. He's definitely cleaned that act up to an extent.
I think last year he threw 10 was the first time since his rookie year when he threw just 9. Every year out of that, he's always thrown over 15.
Yeah.
There was one year he had 26 interceptions.
Exactly.
I don't want that on my team.
Not at all.
He can't hit the broadside of a barn. I got my rant. We're going to move on. PGA Championship. I know you want to talk about this.
I've been waiting all day. That's the only reason I'm here. I was going to stay home.
You can get it off your chest how much you love golf.
All right. Well, my personal opinion on what's going to happen as far as the championship is I think Shooter McGavin is a shoo-in for the gold jacket. I mean, I heard there's this guy named Happy coming up that might take the jacket away from him. But Chubbs fell out the window. What I just told you people is pretty much all I know about golf. So I'm going to take a nap while Jimmy takes over from here after he's done texting his girlfriend.
No, I'm trying to pull something up right now.
And Holly Saunders.
Maybe this.
I know that.
That's 2 thus far, Shooter.
Oh, you can count. Good for you.
And you can count on me waiting for you in a parking lot.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
That's how golf should be. That's just me. I don't know.
Oh, here's the other one.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No.
I can sit here all day and look at these. Let's see. We got any more of these here?
Make that the rest of the show.
Oh, what is this one?
Lines from Happy Gilmore.
Oh, that's just him saying no.
No.
Oh, here's your green jacket, gold jacket. Oh, no, this is the better one. I like this one. Come on, just get there. We got Mike Francesa, dead quiet noise.
Just stay out of my way. Or you'll pay. Listen to what I say. How about I just go eat some hay? I can make things out of clay and lay by the bay. I just may.
What do you say? The pathetic thing is I haven't seen that movie in like 15 years.
Oh, of course.
Did you see that?
Yes, I shot.
He just got a hole-in-one on a par 4.
I know. I just said I saw it.
You know what else can grow a crowd? Golf with an arm growing
out his ass. And that's our golf coverage. No, though, seriously. Not to toot my own horn, but I'll just give myself a nice little... Of course, I do. Absolutely. Nice little pat on my back. I told you who was going to win this tournament. I did say Spieth. Spieth finished second. I did say Day won. I also said Justin Rose. He finished 4th. We don't care about who finished 3rd because no one ever heard of him before. This brings you in to one of the biggest tournaments of the year for really only one golfer, which is Tiger Woods, the Wyndham. Tiger has to either win or he needs to take sole possession of second place to get to the FedEx Cup. Not going to happen. This will be the first time in his career that he's not going to be making a run for the playoffs. It's not really sad to see, to be honest with you. No one cares about Tiger anymore. It's all about Rory. It's all about Spieth. It's all about Ricky Fowler. All these young guns that are coming up. They're giving the golf the name that it has right now, not Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is really old news. Everyone is sick and tired of hearing about him, which is why we're going to stop talking about him. But that's what we got in golf. And that's about it. We already talked about the Jets. We got that. Where's the rundown here? There it is.
Start the
Our
debate.
debate, yes. What is it again?
Talking about trophies. Trophies.
Trophies. I think there's a, if I could find it, I'm pretty sure there's a Pittsburgh Steelers. Un momento, por favor. Nope, that'd be theme song.
We'll be back after this
I
commercial
think this
break.
is it right here, actually. Oh, yeah. From 2011. We'll leave that in the background. So our debate right now is about James Harrison, linebacker from the Pittsburgh Steelers, on the fact that he took away his kids' trophies, their participation trophies, which I think is a great thing. You look at what this guy has done with the Steelers. He knows what it takes to win a championship. Guess what? You're going to raise kids the right way? You show them the ropes. A professional athlete is the best person to show children what it takes to actually win, what it takes to get there, what it's like to earn something. And the fact that they're his kids, these kids should not be mad at him. It's tough for them to understand because they're so young. But I love the fact that he took those trophies and said, I know they're participation trophies, but they're gone, they're out the window. You're not getting a single trophy until you earn something, until you actually win something. I am 100% for it. I back that statement up completely.
Well, my attitude was that I agree with him about halfway. You know, I agree that you definitely want to teach your kids to, go out there, do your best, and try to get that win. But on the other hand, you know what? Kids aren't stupid either. Kids know that a participation trophy is not a real trophy. Because you know what? All the other kids that won a first, second, or third place trophy are definitely going to not let them forget about it. But you also got to remember that these are kids. Now, I think one of the things he said was that I don't want my kids to feel that they won something just for trying their best. You should always be proud of your kids for trying their best. You know, if you see a kid's not trying his best, it's a different story. The kid's trying his best. You should, let them keep the participation trophy. If nothing else, they know they didn't win, but you know what? It's a memory of a day that they went out there and they gave it the best shot. And me, as a father, I know one of the things about my kids is the last thing you want to see is your kids disappointed. And I think if I ever took a trophy away from one of my kids, they'd be upset.
All right, so what I think about the whole situation is, all right, fine. You want to give your kids a trophy? Give them the first trophy. Just let them feel what it's like to win. And yeah, they may not know what it feels like to win just because they got the trophy. So you know what you do? Let them have that first trophy. Don't give them another trophy after that. Let them have their season. Guess what? If they finish the same way, they'll say, Dad, how come we didn't get a trophy this time? Well, you know what it took to get there. I don't care if you finish the same. Now I want you to know what it's like to actually earn a real trophy and get that championship trophy. Let's go. I'm taking you out for ice cream. So to give the kids the first trophy, I could say, maybe Harrison, you know what? Give them the first one. Have them taste what it's like. Keep them all after that. Tell them straight up, this is the last trophy you're ever going to get until I see you go out in that field and actually do something, produce. Now, as a father, I'm sure, as you know, you can phrase it differently to them.
Yeah.
You know, not in the words I'm saying. This is the words I'm saying as let's say a coach to a professional athlete who still won't listen to you. But even still, at least kids now know what it's like to get that trophy. He's taking a different angle of the kids saw the trophy. Out the window. That's fine. But you know what? Don't give them any more after this. I back you up completely. Don't give them any more.
You know, I agree with that as well because, you know, when I think of participation, I never was in anything when I was a kid that had participation trophies. But I remember, like, field day in school. You get the participation ribbon. And like I said, you know, I wasn't stupid. I knew that ribbon basically meant I showed up to school that day. But, you know, it was definitely a different feeling from when you actually won a first, second, or third place. And when you get a real trophy, especially like your first trophy when you're a kid that you really earn, there is nothing better than that. But, you know, another thing I'm going to say about this whole thing is that criticism can go two different ways. It depends on what person you're talking to. Now, taking that kid's trophy away and basically saying, you got to earn yourself a real trophy, that can go two different ways. It depends on the kind of kid it is. The kid could say, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to try harder, I'm going to do better, I'm going to get that trophy. Some kids might say, well, this isn't fun. I don't think I want to do this anymore. So it kind of depends on who you're talking to with the whole taking the trophy away situation.
Your second point is great because that's how I felt in college. They offered these ribbons for perfect attendance. I said, that's cute. Well, now I'm just not going to show up at all the second semester because this was stupid. So therefore, I didn't show up. Anyways, now we'll just, because apparently this really is their theme song. I just tried 3 different clips throughout that. And that stupid ass song for the Pittsburgh Steelers really is their theme song. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be more embarrassed than when Ben Roethlisberger was brought up on sex charges. So, anyways, the Mets and their division. God, I hate the Mets. Why do we talk about the Jets first and the Mets first? Screw that. The Yankees. Talk about the Mets second because they're always at most second, never second. They're only a second back in 2000 when the Yankees beat their asses in the World Series. The Yankees are back on track, and the only problem last night was what's his face. Literally, you said what's his face. I forget his name.
What hit his face?
What hit his face? Broke his nose after a line drive in the 3rd inning or something like that. I don't know, but either way, he can't pitch. The most important news out of the Yankees pitching staff was CC Sabathia getting into a verbal dispute, being restrained by his alleged cousin outside of a nightclub in Toronto, who was apparently taking comments from fans personally. I don't know if they were saying, hey, you're fat, or hey, I just went to the grocery store and bought all the Captain Crunch cereal so you can't have any tonight, or I don't know what they said. But
it definitely pissed me off if I was Addison Peanut Butter Crunch, I'll tell you that.
See, that should be the real... No, it was Captain Crunch. Oh, Peanut Butter Crunch is yours?
No, Peanut Butter Crunch is awesome.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like
Kind of scrapes the roof of your mouth, though, but, you know, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I used to like... Oh, that's right. I used to like...
Remember that?
Oh, God, what's the one with the leprechaun? Lucky Charms.
Oh, you kidding me?
Not because of my beard, but, you know, I really...
No, it's because you've been on the box for,
there's
50 years.
I like the box.
Yeah.
So, anyways. The Yankees get I shut up, Richard. Are you talking to me? The Yankees and CC Sabathia. CC's pitching tonight. He was supposed to pitch last night. Everybody is saying, especially Joe Girardi before the incident, saying that it's not because of his altercation he had with the fans. Is why he's not pitching last night. So he's back on tonight. But the Yankees started getting back to their winning ways. They had last night was kind of crazy. I talked about this before with Jim Teese. The format of which the Twins decided to throw out there in the bottom of the 10th, where they pulled back Torrey Hunter, took him back to the bench, threw out there Nunez, and had a 5-man infield with Chase Headley up. They didn't want a ball getting through the infield. That worked out real well.
Mm-hmm.
Nooney put into play. Why he even bothered to still throw to first and throw out Headley is beyond me. Wouldn't have mattered. It was irrelevant. But whatever.
Yeah.
He did it to say, hey, Yankee fans, I'm back. And no kidding, you are. The Yankees are back, though, and that's what's most important. Brian McCann had 5 RBIs yesterday. That's huge. Teixeira, who's actually out right now for an injured, I don't know, vagina. But he's out for some reason that no one knows. It's actually probably out there somewhere. A-Rod is going through his slump still right now. The whole team needs to come back, but general right now, the fact that they're still 1 game up on Toronto is huge. The moves Toronto made at the trade deadline really made an impact because they came off on a 9-game winning streak and they swept the Yankees, which was like the 2007 Mets when they had like a 9-game lead with 12 games left and it vanished. Yankees just did the same thing, but they have games left.
You know, that's the thing about baseball. 162 game season. Everybody's going to have up and downs, unless you're St. Louis. You just kick everybody's ass nonstop until you get there. But everybody has. Talking about the Mets, look at those up and downs. But yeah, we're holding our own. Still in first. That's the way to be. Stay there.
That's all you got on the Yankees?
No, you pretty much covered everything else.
Can you kill more time?
Are you talking to your girlfriend again?
No, I was delaying. I was going to play some Yankee music in the background while we talk about them. But no, I don't have that. So we'll jump to the Mets, though. Oh, crap. I'm blowing it now. All right, so the Mets. The Mets still have their pitching staff. The Mets got that going for them. They're 4.5 games up on the Nationals. Nationals are 1 game under 500. Under 100. Did I say 100?
I think you did.
They're 4.5 games under 500.
Nobody
Their
besides
home
the Mets
division
is above 500.
No, but check this out.
So far, Halloween's a bigger letdown than being a Mets fan.
Opening day, and here's the first pitch, and
the season's over.
Yep, and that's
and what are the Phillies are under 400? Am I right?
So are the Marlins.
Yeah, they were on the border for a little bit.
No, yeah, the Marlins are too. Let's see what we got here. The Mets are gonna. I don't want to say the Mets are gonna run away with this division because the Mets are due to collapse. I'm surprised they didn't collapse when they typically do, which is right after the All-Star break. But as far as standings go, let's see. You got Marlins won yesterday, so they're at 407. But even the Braves, the Braves are good 12 games under 500, and Nationals are a game under.
Definitely not the Braves of the 90s.
No, it's not. I mean, really, the Cardinals are running away with this one. Nobody's got near 70 wins, except for Pittsburgh, 69. The Cubs are staying in it though too.
And that, it's like what you brought up about St. Louis. That's what I love about listening to some of these Met fans is they're already talking about World Series. It's like, did you forget about the Cardinals? I mean, not that it's not possible for them to beat them in a series, whether it's the division or championship series, but it's like, that's not going to be an easy ride. But that's the way Met fans are. They're either crying about, being a Met fan or taking back the town. It's like, you got to pick one, 1 week to another.
I have two takes on this as far as to why they're right and as far as to why they're wrong. I think they're absolutely right. They have a great chance to get to the World Series if somebody else can knock out St. Louis. That's the
That'd
only
be their best chance.
If the Mets do not win the division, they're not in the playoffs. That is a fact and a half. They don't have a chance at the wild card. So, that being said, the only team they have to beat is the Cardinals. Can they beat them? I don't think so. I really, really honestly do not think. I don't care who the hell's on their pitching staff. It's not going to happen. But at the same time, you got to realize, are the Cardinals really as good as they appear? Because look at baseball as a whole. The entire major leagues. This is the worst we've ever seen in our years, of the 30-plus years being on planet Earth, wherever we live. We've never seen baseball this bad before. Now, maybe in the 80s, if we were just tunnel vision Yankee fans.
Well, I was a Yankee fan in the 80s.
And you saw it as bad as it could get.
I was crying.
Sure. But the whole thing, I mean, even then you had the Reds. The Reds were great then. In the 80s, you even had the Red Sox were half decent. They just didn't make the World Series. It was what it was. But they had the Mets who were dominating, which was the problem.
Yeah. New York was theirs back then.
Yeah. But, the whole thing here is that baseball has never been this bad before. As a whole. It's just so bad all around. So is St. Louis really as good as they appear to be? Or are they on par? Are they as good as they always are? But then again, they're taking a step back like the entire league. And they're just still as dominant as they normally would be.
Yeah, I mean, with the domination, you got to say, they are as good as they seem to be. I mean, I see, the point you're making too, but I mean, they're just nonstop. Nobody, has numbers in the National League close to them.
Yep.
They're just unstoppable. They've been like that for a while.
Yeah. I want to jump over to Northwestern. So the judge ruled yesterday, the day before yesterday, whenever it was. The NCAA and the court, they are not going to allow Northwestern to unionize. They were looking for a lot that a lot of people will agree with. And in this case, they were looking at better health plan, more protection. They're looking to get paid. They're looking at so many different things. One thing that stands out to me, payment out the window.
Exactly.
College athletes should not get paid a dime. You're being brought in there, as is on a scholarship. So in essence,
Exactly.
you're getting paid.
Well, like we talked about, how much does the average person have to pay, whether it's a kid paying their own student loans for the next 20 years after they graduate, or parents having to save up for 18
It's a state
years.
school now these years. $30,000 for
forget
a
about
year
it.
for
Yeah.
a state school.
And it's like getting a scholarship ain't good enough anymore. Now, I agree with you 100% on the healthcare. These guys should be taken care of. They're playing contact sports.
Yes.
They
Well,
should
football,
definitely.
the main one.
Oh, definitely.
With
They
the head
should definitely
injuries.
be taken care of. But as far as getting paid, you make the majors, then you worry about that. But you know what? You're getting a free ride. You're getting a college education, hopefully, if you're trying hard enough
I mean,
to
you
do
look at
that.
the video games. The video games, they're not even putting the players' names in the game.
No, they put the
Okay.
number in.
Right,
You're
exactly.
supposed to know who you're talking about.
Right, exactly. So I don't think a player should get paid for video games either. There's a reason why they're not putting the names in there.
Yep.
Now, you got to weigh it out. Okay, so if they're going to give these players better, provide them with better health care, you look at the other students of the school who are still under mommy and daddy's medical insurance. This school is still making $5+ million a year on athletics. I'm sure all the money as a whole gets put into one big ass pot. So guess what?
Yep.
If you're going to provide these athletes, deservingly so, football, with better health care, you need to now protect the rest of the athletes within the student body. Among that as well, why are you not treating the regular students any better? Are they different? Guess what? If you're not going to pay the athletes, which I think they should not get paid, take the money that people say, oh, they should get paid this amount. Okay. Take that amount and put that towards scholarships. Bring in more people to your college. Because guess what? The more people you bring into your college, the more people are going to go to those sports games, spend more money.
Yep. Paid.
So it's a win-win. You're going to get the money back.
But that's part of the reason, like you just said about, well, what about these other kids? Well, because the other kids aren't making the college money and they're not getting the college attention, so it's like, well, screw these guys, it's like, let's focus on them 100%.
Yeah.
It's not fair to the average kid just trying to go out there and get a degree.
And it's not fair to the entire NCAA because you look at if one school gets this treatment, all the schools
Everybody's
are
going
getting
to start
treatment.
adopting it.
You're looking at well over 150 major schools. Half these teams, these schools can't afford it. So if this one school happens to unionize, it is not going to benefit anybody else. It's going to hurt a lot of other schools that don't have the money to be able to provide the benefits that a unionization would provide the school. So you're losing a lot of athletic student body to go to another school that does provide the unionization. So it'd be a lose-lose as a whole.
Unionization is great for players, horrible for fans. Because guess what? Look what happened when Major League Baseball finally got their union. Players got paid more, which means that fans had to pay more to see them, which means owners made more. Yeah, it works out great for the guys who are already rich, but I got to take a second mortgage out of my house to bring my family to a ball game. So it works out great for the players, but not so good for us fans who just want to go and enjoy a nice ball game.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point. So, glad that story is over with. We're not going to hear about that anymore, and I'm sure they're going to find a way to bring it back up again. I'm sure they're going to find a way to fight it again, and we'll see how that pans out, but it's Northwestern. Sorry, you don't see USC doing it. You don't see Texas doing it. You don't see Florida State doing it. You don't see Florida doing it, Miami doing it. You don't see these major schools, Michigan State, Alabama, Auburn. You don't see these major schools getting involved. You see Northwestern.
That's the funniest part of the whole thing.
Right. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe there's some sort of corruption behind it. We got about 10 minutes left, though. Tom Brady. Talk a little bit about him as we did with Matt Lamott of the Finians. Tomorrow, his case is being brought back to the table in court. He is not required to be there, nor is Roger Goodell, but both of their parties will be trying to make a settlement of some sort. In which case, last week in New York, they said The judge urged both parties to make some sort of an agreement and a settlement, which tells me, clearly, if it's not going to happen, guess what? That judge is going to uphold Roger Goodell's decision of a 4-game suspension. So I look at this whole thing as like, really? Why is this even carrying over to now? The football season already. This was from last season. I know the Super Bowl was just early corner. Exactly. No one cares. What are you doing, Tom? Just fess up. If you don't want to fess up, just let it go. You're going into the Hall of Fame regardless.
Yeah.
Deflategate, Spygate, doesn't matter. You're going into the Hall of Fame. This right here is the crap that is going to put the asterisk on your resume because you continue to fight and fight and fight. I think you are so deep into a lie. You're just continuing to try and lie, and you feel it's like the only way out.
You know, when everybody else on the planet knows the truth, what's the point? Just say, all right, it's done, it's over with. You know, apologize if you feel like it, and move on. That's the only way to move on.
There's so much of that blurry evidence, so much more of the blurry evidence, opposed to the straight-on evidence. And the one that sticks out to me is the fact that he destroyed his cell phone.
Yeah.
Let's just use that for a second. Every fan sees it. If there's anything that would stick to him, it's exactly that. Why are you going to destroy? I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you're famous. I don't care if you get $1 bajillion and you change your cell phone every week. I don't care if you're banging someone, if you're married to 4 other women, and you got to constantly change your damn phone. Why are you even telling them, sorry, I don't have it because they destroyed my phone? You may not have used those exact words. What are you destroying your damn phone for? Just delete the stuff that you don't want to see Giselle look at, and just say, here, NFL, look at my phone. I don't understand why.
It's like the kid telling his parents, I didn't take any cookies with chocolate all over his face.
Right.
It's like, really? You can tell me whatever you want, but, you know.
And so now they come back and saying that the NFL did not properly go about the rights of the investigation. Now, that may be true. That may be true. But you cannot tell the public that there is no way the NFL can get these records. You can delete all the text you want. You can get those text records.
They're floating around.
Absolutely, you can get those.
You can get anything.
So
even those nude pictures you sent me, which they're
trust
me, I'm not deleting those. No. But look at those. He told me to turn my phone off, but I'd be looking at them right now.
There's more than just that. Anyways, so we're looking at Jay Saldine. What do we got here? So Tom Brady, I think yes, he will be suspended for all 4 games. Suck it up, big boy.
That's it.
Done. The NHL, I know a sport you love so much.
Nobody cares about hockey, Boomer.
Bingo. The NHL is switching over to Adidas. They're dumping, well, I don't say they're dumping, they're ending the contract ties with Reebok after this season. The 2016-17 season is going to open up with Adidas owning their jerseys and most likely putting their three-stripe symbol somewhere on there. The issue most hockey fans have with this is something that they've brought to the table. They want to do like they do in the KHL, which is a Russian professional hockey league. They want to bring advertisements onto the jerseys, almost like race car drivers.
Well, I was just about to say like a race car. You're a skating billboard now.
I'm sorry. This is a sport that's almost as old as baseball.
Yeah.
What if baseball brought in such a way, let's say they got rid of, who do they even use? Riddle or, not Riddle.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart.
Oh, look at that jersey over there. Grab that tag. What's that
tag?
You mean
a horrible Red Sox jersey?
I see the logo on my head. In my head. Get up and look at the Red Sox jersey.
I'm not getting up. I'm not touching the Red Sox jersey.
I sat down.
Majestic, thank you.
Majestic, that's it. Yeah, the red, white, and blue. So, look at this. Now, they've been with them forever.
Yeah.
We're talking about the NHL cutting ties with them. Now, what they're talking about doing here with the NHL and potentially bringing in ads, they can look at a possible $120+ million revenue for the NHL, which is great. The NHL needs all the money it can get to provide promotions or some way to get fans to come to the game, pay more attention to the game. They need any help they can possibly get. They're barely known as a top 4 major sport.
Right.
But advertisements on the jerseys, no. I am 110% against that. The last thing I want to see, and as everybody knows, I'm a very controversial D-bag. The last thing I want to see is an ad promoting, mainly, let's say, Dallas Stars or Tampa Bay Lightning or even say Anaheim. Last thing I want to see is a Spanish advertisement on a hockey jersey.
That'd be different.
I hate the fact that the NBA promotes Spanish names. Los Knicks, Los Heat. Why? It's freaking America. I don't need that crap. Get out of here. No. I don't need any Spanish advertisements on an NHL jersey. Not saying that they're going to. It's the last thing I want to see, though. That's for sure. So I don't know if they're talking about going the race car route, going McDonald's, going Home Depot, going Lowe's, going Mobile Exxon, actually buying sports brands, say Sports Authority, Models.
Do it in a different way.
Right.
Stick banners all over the place that say, Eating Joe's or something like that. But, throwing them on the jerseys.
Yeah.
Nah, come on. You throw them anywhere else.
Fill the ice up. Fill the ice up.
on the ice.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the jerseys, come on. You know what I heard that's interesting about this whole thing that they're talking about? I found out that Adidas actually owns Reebok.
Really? That I didn't know.
Yeah. Kind of.
I'm not double checking you. I'm looking something else up. But I didn't know that.
I thought that was interesting that, people are actually talking about this big switch. Meanwhile, from what I'm hearing, Reebok is owned by Adidas.
Go on.
I didn't say I knew that much more about it. I just said I heard that.
Okay.
How much information do you really want about Adidas? So,
No, well, it's more of a basketball thing because actually James Harden just got a $200 million contract over 13 years to sign with Adidas for a shoe deal. Meanwhile, it's not too far off from the deal that Kevin Durant got for a $300 million deal to leave Nike and to go with, or not, I don't know, to leave. Either way, to sign with Under Armour.
Mm-hmm.
That is disgusting in itself as well. So, Adidas, I don't know. Look, bottom line is, if it brings money to the NHL, please don't put advertisements on the jerseys. Find something else. I'm happy it's bringing money, but Adidas hockey? Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it. What am I doing here?
Meanwhile, doesn't it stand for Old Dad Dreaming About Soccer?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I think this is what I need. This. Yeah. Okay. We're almost there. 8:57. It's about that time.
Better get that rant in.
I'm trying to find something here. Oh, no. Where's my song? There it is.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
So, there it is. Alright, so this week's rant. Eli Manning, the deer caught in the headlights. You suck. And that's the end of it. Eli Manning, that was great. That was an awesome rant. Eli should he should not become the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He should not become the highest paid water boy in the NFL. He's just as good as a water boy. He's the worst quarterback I've seen in a very, very, very long time. You can all think I'm crazy because maybe I'm taking that too far. I just hate him so much. I think he's one of the worst Giants quarterbacks we've seen in a long time. I don't care that he's taken us to 2 Super Bowls. I don't care he's 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Guess what? He might actually make the Hall of Fame simply because of that. But then again, he'll also be the most undeserving quarterback to make the Hall of Fame that actually has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Super Bowl championships. They will never talk about stats that he had as far as the bad ones. Maybe like in his 10 years, 185 interceptions. So that's an average of 18 freaking interceptions a year in a 16-game season. Do I want to have a quarterback on my team that's being the most paid player in the NFL that I can say, well, you know what, he's guaranteed to throw an interception in this game. Might come in the first play, might come in the most inconvenient time of the game. No, not at all. He can't the broadside of a bar, like I said earlier. You look at why he has the stats that he has, as far as the good ones go. Look at those receivers that he had. Going back to 2008, 2007, when they won the first Super Bowl championship since 1990, you're looking at Amani Toomer, Great wide receiver for them. That's because the guy had hops. Because Eli can't throw the ball. Constantly overthrows, underthrows, can't hit the cuts, can't hit the proper routes. You wonder if it's the actual wide receivers that can't really remember these plays. I know a quarterback has to remember a lot, but as far as throwing goes, dude, you're just as good as throwing the ball as Jorge Posada ever was. He'll throw a player out if a player was running to Bernie Williams in center field. I just can't stand Eli. He's terrible. You can't rely on the guy. You look at Manningham making that catch in the playoffs back in 2010 or 2011. Guess what? It wasn't Eli that made the throw. It was Manningham that made the catch. You look at, I'm so happy we have Victor Cruz and that we have OBJ and Odell Beckham Jr. Guess what? Those guys have hops. Those guys have gloves. They can catch the ball. Eli can simply go, bink, there's a 10-yard overthrow. Oh, you can jump 35 feet in the air? Not a problem at all. It's these normally a good quarterback makes wide receivers. No, it's these wide receivers that make Eli. And that's the problem that I have. So, Eli, you should not be the highest paid player. They're talking about right now that no matter what, at the end of the day, he's going to be getting paid 5% within high or low, the number they're looking for. It should be 50% low, because I don't like that at all. I'd rather have Phillip Rivers on the team. I'm sorry, I really would. I really would. I kind of want to, after the show, I'll compare those two stats. I really wish I did it beforehand. But postseason aside, because Phillip Rivers is never in the postseason, because he never has a great team around him, and the numbers he puts up still are phenomenal. You know, you never see Eli get picked in fantasy football. I'm done.
Well done.
Anything else?
I just wanted to say, I mean, is this the closing thoughts? The little Jerry Springer closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts would require a song like this.
This should be good.
Closing time. But there's a, you know, it's funny, there's a show out in California. I actually had quite the fight with them. I can't remember how they're called. Self-Indulgent Podcast. They actually made fun of us for having this song. So, play it loud and clear. Sean, if you're watching.
Stick it to the man.
Stick to the man, yeah. But, no, I don't know. Well, you know, I think what's deserving. Well, actually, no, let's do this. This is our closing song here. Because I like it. It's been an intro song before. But, next Tuesday, no show, because there will be a special show, which will be the special coverage of right here, Goose's collection, which, like I said before, it is elite among elite, one of the greatest private collections I've ever seen. We'll
Definitely tune in.
Yeah, we will be coming back. Well, I guess that would be the first week of September. We'll be back. September 1st, maybe, the show, and that'll be it. Goose,
Really appreciate you having me on, brother.
thank you for coming out, and
See you guys next week.
we'll be back some other time. Later on.